Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on working out the angle formula from the cosine rule. So if you track back when we looked at the sine rule, when we were working out the side of a triangle, we had one formula, and then we had a slightly different formula when we were working out the angle. Okay, and if I just give you a reminder of that, when we were working out the side of a triangle, we had the formula a over sine a equals b over sine b equals c over sine c. Okay, and this was when we were working out the side. When we were working out the angle, the numerators and the denominators just flipped, and we had something like this. Okay, and there wasn't much difference between these two formulas. However, in an exam on the formula sheet, you are basically given this formula. Okay, and if you are asked to work out the angle from a triangle using the sine rule, you basically have to derive the other formula. Okay, and that's basically what this video is about. We have the cosine rule. We're now going to generate a formula to work out the angle using the cosine rule, and I've just dedicated a whole video to it just because it's a little bit more complex than the sine rule. In the sine rule, we just had to flip the numerators and the denominators. In the cosine rule, we have to do a bit of rearranging. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch and take it step by step. So the cosine rule says a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Now, which part of this formula is the angle? Well, the angle part is this part. So we want to make this part the subject of the formula. And if we're making that part the subject of the formula, that means that all of this has to go. It has to move, it has to go to the other side. Okay, and that's basically what we're going to do. So first of all, let's get rid of this b squared. Now, in order to get rid of this b squared, at the moment you can see it's being added. So in order to get rid of it, you need to do the opposite. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract b squared. And whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other side. So we're going to subtract b squared from this side as well. Now we're left with, that's going to get rid of this b squared. And we're going to be left with a squared minus b squared equals c squared minus 2bc cos a. Okay, so we've done step one. Now, what we need to do is get rid of this c squared. Okay, how are we going to get rid of that c squared? Well, it's being added once again because there's an invisible add sign here. Okay, same with the b squared. So to get rid of it, we have to do the opposite. So we're going to subtract c squared. And whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other side. So we're going to subtract c squared from this side as well. And that's going to get rid of the c squared on this side. So now we're going to have a squared minus b squared minus c squared equals minus 2bc cos a. Okay, that's our next stage done. Now, we just want this cos a, remember. Okay, now this is the part that people get confused with. Okay, this 2bc over here, this 2bc that we have is being multiplied to cos a, because as you can see, there's no symbols between the letters or the numbers. It's being multiplied to cos a. So to get rid of something that's being multiplied, we have to do the opposite of it, which is divide. So what we're going to do here is we're going to divide by negative 2bc. Okay, because at the moment cos a is being multiplied by all of this. It's being multiplied by negative 2bc. So to get rid of it, we're going to do the opposite of it, and we're going to divide by negative 2bc. And if we're dividing on one side, we have to do the same on the other side. We're going to divide by negative 2bc. Okay, and if we're dividing, that's going to get rid of this. So we're going to have a squared minus b squared minus c squared. And if we're dividing, we have to divide everything on this side by it. So we're going to divide all of this by negative 2bc. And that's going to give you cos a left on this side. Okay, so this is basically the majority of the formula that you need to know. Okay, if you can get to this stage, then you're basically sorted. Okay, because if you get a value out of this from the triangle, you will have a value for cos A. Once you have cos A, in order to work out the angle, in order to work out just A, you can inverse cos your answer. Okay, so if we type this into our calculator, we will get an answer, and that will be equal to cos A. To get just A, you will need to inverse cos your answer. Okay, and that will get you just A. If you didn't quite understand that, I could integrate this into the formula as well. So if we take this formula up here, so we had a squared minus b squared minus c squared over minus 2bc, and that was equal to cos A. In order to get rid of this cos, because our aim is to just have A on one side, because A is the angle, so to get rid of cos, we need to inverse cos it. So we have to inverse cos the other side. So we're going to cos minus 1, everything on the other side. So a squared minus b squared minus c squared over negative 2bc. And that's going to be equal to A. Okay, so if you wanted a formula, this is basically the formula to work out your angle. Okay, but personally, I wouldn't remember this formula. I would know how to derive it in an exam, because this formula is the one given to you on the formula sheet. Okay, so if we just reiterate our steps, we want to get A, the subject of the formula, or cos A, if you're fine with inversing your answer at the end. But ultimately, we want to work out A, so we want to get A as our final on one side of the equation. Okay, so we need to get rid of everything else apart from A. So to get rid of the b squared, we need to do the opposite, subtract b squared from both sides. To get rid of the c squared, we subtracted c squared from both sides, and the negative 2bc is being multiplied to cos A. So to get rid of it, we did the opposite of it, which means we divided by negative 2bc, and we divided everything on the other side by negative 2bc, so we're left with just cos A. And in order to get A by itself, we inverse cosed everything on the other side. So you could inverse cos your answer, or you could inverse cos your formula. So you can type this all in at once into your calculator, and that will get you your angle that you are asked to find out in an exam. Okay, in our next video, we're going to be looking at putting this into practice by working out the angle in a triangle using the cosine rule. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. And one last thing, please subscribe and hit the like button.